Hello there, my name is Richard. I like to talk about animation, and once in a while I do a segment called Abandoned Animated Film. This segment I only focus on films are basically underground type of animated films. Films are not based on Disney, Pixar, or DreamWorks. Animated films that are made for all the different countries, but once again, because it's not that popular, it's not as well done, nobody really talks about it. And this is basically the point of abandoned animated films. Today we're gonna focus on an animated film called Pill Adventure. If you want to see this film, you can basically buy it on digital, or you can find it on Hulu if you have that subscription service. But besides this, Pill Adventure was a very charming type of film. It's not as well executed. In fact, some of the ideas are basic, but at the very end, it had this sort of charm. Of course, I have to say, this film sort of surprised me at first, because when I watched the trailer, I was sort of disappointed because I didn't want to actually watch this film, but just given a chance to see is any good. And surprisingly, it was. Now, the story of the Pill's adventure is basically a character called Pill, who basically is sort of an orphan child in the good old ages. But during this time, she probably heard a secret of the prince, that he has sort of a secret treasure that she needs so she can stop being poor, in other words. But during this time, to understand where this treasure, she started making fun of one of the guards, who is basically called Bender. But Bender is not the smartest, so Pill take advantage of him so he could take food and survive. During this time, the new prince came in to become the new king, but before he became the new king, his right-hand man, Tristan, who was basically the substitute king for a little while till the prince is ready to become king. But the only problem is, Tristan doesn't want him to become a king, because Tristan wants power. He likes being king. He likes being cruel and basically mess and tax everybody around him so he takes more money and more power and more respect. But he has a plan to get rid of the prince before he becomes a king. He wanted to actually poison the prince. In fact, he glossy actually poisoned the king. This is the reason why the original king died, and he's just waiting for the perfect time to kill the prince so he could be officially the new king. During this time, Pill sort of accidentally messed of the chemicals he was using to attempt to poison the king. Instead of killing the new prince, he became a sort of a hybrid to a chicken and a cat. And it was kind of disturbing because the transformation was sort of kind of awkward and kind of spooky for a PG movie. It's something that sort of surprised you just for a second. After that, the evil lord of Tristan decided to change his plan and blame Pill, and she's the one who actually now running away with the half transformation cat chicken. That during this time, Pill make a deal with the new prince. If she can help him to actually transform back to human, she get this treasure so she can stop being poor. The only problem is doesn't know where to go next till Bender, the knight, came there and sort of explained where is this sort of chemical to help him to transform back to being human. But Pill sort of tricked him so he can join his group to find the witch who could give him the special ingredient to transform the prince back human. You also have another character who is called the juggler, that he's basically the comedian of the group. In fact, he's so bad he got fired because he's not a good jester, but I think that sort of was the joke. And in fact, he was actually pretty funny, especially he has a puppet. He's sort of like a Troy kiss, but instead of using a sock puppet. But the gimmick is the sock puppet tells all his true feelings around everything he thinks. And the juggler is a very polite man, but he has a lot of very strong opinions about the rich people. So he basically trash him every time he used the puppet. It's something sort of completely random and hilarious, and you also can't remove him of this film. He doesn't really affect it, but again, he is probably the most funniest thing about this series, but it works so well. Now, after this became sort of like an adventure to find the Metro MacGuffin to save the prince. But I love it, they actually kind of surprise you. Once again, this film is sort of basic, but they use their tropes very wisely and trick you every time they have the chance. And that sort of execution makes this film just so interesting and very fascinating. I think one of the biggest interesting thing is the relation of Pill and Bender, because Pill kind of tricked Bender to join his group, pretending to be the princess, but he showed the movie that Bender is not the smartest person in the world, but he trusted. But at the very end, she promised to make him a knight, but she doesn't have that power. And you see that guilt during the whole trip, trying to transform back the king, is that she feels guilty about Bender, feels sad, unsure if she's doing the right thing. But her explanation why she's doing this is because she needs to survive. That's why she lied to him. And that itself is well executed, even that is sort of obvious what the whole movie trying to do. I think part of the other movie, the other part is trying to figure out what this secret treasure of the last king left in this kingdom. And once more, you get a little time with the prince, but not enough to actually empathize him. You just know he's sort of humble, but all of that is sort of a venture to find the cure and take over the kingdom of the evil new king. And that's basically the whole movie. Once again, I was sort of satisfied, but I do have to admit he has sort of flaws. One of the biggest flaws, this movie tried to make the evil villain Tristan actually interesting. He almost did. In fact, the whole movie kinda tries to compare Pill and Tristan as the same type of person. Both of them are not actually happy and satisfied with their lives. Both of them are going the same direction till Pill realized maybe she stopped lying, actually tried to do something else, or try to get help a different way. If she didn't, she becomes like Tristan. But I feel that sort of idea they want to go, but the last minute decide, nah, never mind, they changed the idea. But besides that, there's another problem, that at the end of the film, I feel they're trying to resolve so many things, but I feel you needed another 5 or 10 minutes more just to resolve all the problems in the movie. But once again, it feels kind of rushed, but at the very end, it's something I can nitpick, but I have to admit, I was charmed most of the whole film. They actually were trying to entertain you, make you laugh, and it almost succeeded. You just wish they actually give it an extra 5 or 10 minutes, or rearrange some things just to make it work better. But all that, I was surprised. I think one of the biggest surprise, they don't mind being violent or kill a character off if the joke was actually hilarious. The reason I'm saying this, because sometimes animated films, specifically for a family friendly or for kids, they avoid violence at all costs, sometimes ruining the film. This one doesn't. And everybody can understand violence and comedy. You just know how to handle the right way. Unfortunately, it's one of the biggest problems is it was needed more time to fix some of the problems. That's the only complaint I actually have. The rest, I have to say, is good. That I recommend it, yes, just be aware this movie is not perfect. But again, it's sort of worth sort of renting. It's one of those renting animated films that you'll be not disappointed if you know it has issues. And that's all. I do highly recommend it. I do really enjoy it. In fact, is this movie want to make a sequel, I completely probably watch it because how much I like the characters. Other than that, I can't really say much. In fact, I'm going to ask this one question. Have you heard of Pill Adventure? Have you seen it? Do you like it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.